everyone. Thank you for coming today. Just need the kids to be a little quiet. Okay. It's just for 1.5 hours. Well, actually a little less because you guys are a little late. So about 1 hour, 15 minutes, we're just going to get a little quiet. We're going to listen, and then we're going to chant also. All right, my name is Madhava. I was born in a small island called Mauritius. Anyone knows where Mauritius is?
I am from, my mother from Mauritius, so,
Your mother's from Mauritius. Okay, what's her name?
and my mother's name,
Yeah.
Bhakti Devi.
Oh, I know your mother.
Yeah,
Okay. Ah, wonderful. Small world.
yeah.
Very, very nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful island. You know, nice beaches, nice sun, nice fruits. And I grew up when I was 5 years old. Who is 5 years old here? You know, everybody's like older. Okay. When I was 5 years old, my parents gave me my first mridanga. This drum here. And I always loved to play mridanga, but I didn't really know how to play mridanga when I was 5 years old. So I would go to the temple with my parents, and I would bring my small mridanga with me. And because I didn't know, I would just play in the kirtans. And then the brahmacharis, they will get really angry because I didn't know how to play. It was disturbing the kirtan. So they would stop me and they said, "Oh, stop playing because you're disturbing everything." And then I would cry and go running to my parents and said, "Oh, those brahmacharis stopped me from playing." But in my mind, I always wanted to be a good mridanga player. So I was growing up, 6 years old, 7 years old, and I used to listen to cassettes. Nowadays they have CDs. Well, CDs is almost finished now. They have MP3s and all these other new things. But at that time we had cassettes. And I used to listen to, many kirtans. You know, Vyasaki Prabhu, Agnidev Prabhu, and so many other devotees listen to the kirtans. And I used to listen specially to the mridanga playing because I loved mridanga. So I would listen to every little sound and every little beat on the mridanga. And I tried to copy the same thing on the mridangas. In those times, well, at least in Mauritius, because nowadays we can learn mantras, right? Mridanga mantras. Any one of you learn mridanga here? Plays mridanga? Yeah? Okay. A few people. So there's all these mridanga mantras that you can learn to practice and also to play in kirtan. But in those times, there was no mridanga mantras, at least in Mauritius. So I had to like develop my hearing propensities. Everything starts with hearing. It's Shravanam, which means hearing, and then Kirtanam, and then chant. So Sachinandan Maharaj tells us, that if we listen properly, then there's a good chance that we will chant properly. So the quality of our hearing, the quality of our chanting depends on the quality of our hearing. Just like all of you guys go to school, right? Yes. So if you don't listen to the teacher properly, what the teacher is trying to tell you, if you're falling asleep or if you're not paying attention, you're not going to catch it. Right? You're going to miss out on what the teacher is trying to teach. So that's why hearing is the most important. And then when you hear, then you can repeat that same thing that you heard. So I was trying to listen to every little sound on the mridanga and copy it, play the same thing. And then I was growing up, I love kirtan. I love kirtan and prasadam. And I was like your age, and I was growing up, teenage. And I didn't like so much the philosophy, not at that age. But kirtan and prasadam was like the best thing that I had, the best gift that I got. And I was always playing mridanga kirtans. And when I was 18, I went to Gurukul, a small Gurukul in Mauritius, for a few months, and then I was supposed to go to Mayapur Gurukul, but somehow or other it didn't work. I just went to like normal school, and I had friends outside, not devotees. I had a Sikha, not this big Sikha. I had a smaller Sikha, but long. And when I was going to school, my friends would be calling my Sikha. They'd be like bullies. And at one point, it was so tough for me. And I told my parents I can't keep a Sikha because everyone's teasing me. So I cut my Sikha. But still, they were still calling me, Hare Krishna, you Hare Krishna, you Hare Krishna, that. But, Srila Prabhupada says, even if someone is calling, Krishna's name, making fun of you, that person gets the benefit. But at that time I didn't know because I was just like a teenager, and I was getting angry why these people like making fun of me. But I just, remained, quiet. But kirtan was the most important thing that really saved my life. Who likes kirtan? Everybody. These guys, I don't think they like football. All right, most people love kirtan. Okay, wonderful. So when I was 18, I went to Vrindavan. I joined the 24-hour kirtan in Vrindavan. Any one of you heard Indra Das, Indra Prabhu? Many of you. Indra Prabhu was my teacher, my guru. He taught me how to do kirtan. He taught me how to chant. Not really to play the harmonium, but the mood of chanting, why we chant, to who we chant, and how we need to treat and respect the instruments. All these instruments that we're playing, the kartals, the mridanga, the harmonium, they're non-different from Balaram. Everyone knows who Balaram is. Who's Balaram? Krishna's sister? Krishna's brother, right? Okay. Just testing me, guys. Okay, Krishna's brother. And Krishna's brother is very strong. Balaram is very strong. So when I somehow or other, got the fortune to become Indra Prabhu's Mridanga player. And every day I would go in front of the deities, Gaunitai, Krishna Balaram, Radha Shyam Sundar, and I would pray, please make me become the best Mridanga player. I would pray every day, very intensely. But that was not enough. And my service was to do 6 hours of kirtan every day. I was like, if you live in the temple, you're supposed to do a certain amount of service, like 6 hours or 8 hours. And 6 hours of kirtan every day. I had shifts. You could do like 3 hours in the morning from 7 to 10, or 10 to 1, and then do night from 7 to 10, or the whole night. And apart from that, I was practicing 4 hours of mridanga every day. So it was 10 hours of kirtan. And for 1 year, I did the night shift, what we call the graveyard shift. from 10 o'clock at night to 1 o'clock in the morning to 4:30 in the morning, 6.5 hours, and there's no one around. It's basically one person or sometimes two people, and that was a real test because when you start at 10 o'clock, you're still awake till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then you start falling asleep. And especially in the winter, you get very hungry. I was 18 years old at that time. Now I'm 44. At that time I was 18, and the only dinner that we had was at 8 o'clock. It was a glass of milk and with some puff rice. That was it. And we were young boys. And so around 2 o'clock in the morning, your stomach would be like growling. You hear this noise while you're chanting that the stomach makes when it's hungry. And what could I do? I had to like really try and control the mind and control the senses. But sometimes, there was a friend of mine, a Gurukul friend of mine, who would be sitting right next to me. And I'd tell him, okay, because the chanting had to keep on going. Srila Prabhupada wanted 24-hour kirtan in Vrindavan, Mayapur, so that devotees, when they would come to the temple, they would feel that spiritual potency at those temples. So we had to keep the mantra going. But then I told my friend, you sing, just wait for me. So I would go at any one of you who's been to Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan? Yeah, a few. There's the Mahaprasad table, the Mahaprasad booth at the back. Right. In those times, now they've done it very nicely, but in those times they had a marble table, and that marble table was cracked. So you could lift the marble and put it on the other marble piece. And then there was this rotten plywood. I lifted it, and guess what there was inside? There was like these nice cakes. This was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, when the stomach will be growling. And I was, teenage, hungry, maha cake. So I'd take the maha cake, put the table back nicely as if nothing happened. And I would go to my friend. I said, "Okay, you eat," and I would sing. Then he would, he would eat. Then we'd take turns, and then we'll keep on doing our kirtan. So that kept us going. And then in the morning, because we'll finish our kirtan shift at 4:30 in the morning. In the morning, we'll wait. We'll stay for Mangalarti, Guru Puja. Just before Guru Puja, this Mataji, this Prabhupada disciple, she was from South India. She would come and she would open the Mahaprasad booth, right? And to put all the cakes and all the Maha stuff for selling. So she would come and we would go there. My friend and I, we would go there. And she's opening and she's looking, then her face changes. Her face becomes red. She starts getting really angry. She was quite passionate, Mataji. And I would ask her, what happened? And she said, oh, I put a cake here last night and it disappeared. And I said, no, come on. No. This is locked. This cannot happen. He said, come look, there's no cake. And I said, oh, it must be those Bengali brahmacharis. But, Krishna consciousness is so much fun. Mahaprasad is non-different from Krishna himself. Krishna, whatever we eating, whatever we offer Krishna, it becomes prasadam, right? And Krishna and that prasadam is non-different. So one time, I'll tell you another story. One time, my service was to do kirtan, 6 hours of kirtan. But during the festivals, like Janmashtami or Radhastami or Balaram's appearance day, they would put me in charge of guarding the Mahaprasad. They would transfer the Mahaprasad from the altar. There's Radha Shamsuna, Krishna Balaram, and the Gaunitai altar, and they had a special room where they would bring all the Mahaprasad there, so that they could bring it later for the feast. So it would be, because I had a very, trustworthy face. Everybody would trust me. They would put me in charge to guard the Mahaprasad. And I told my friend, you go to my room and there's this big green bag. You bring it. So my friend would go to the room, bring the bag, and we would fill it with all the good stuff. Because we stayed in India for a long time. So we wouldn't get pizzas and, nice stuff. So we stole all the nice stuff. We took all the Mahaprasad. We put it in this bag, and I told him, you bring this to my room. And I had a very small room. So then after the service, I would go, we would go to my room, 2 or 3 of us, friends, and we locked the door, and we opened the bag, and we put everything on the floor. So the floor was full of Maha everywhere. And we were so happy. We started eating, and then we hear this knock on the door. And I told him, don't make any noise, don't tell. And we keep hearing the noise with the knock. And I hear Aindrabhu's voice. He goes, I know you're in there, open the door. I told the boys, don't, shh. So we just remained quiet. And he kept knocking. I said, I know you're in there. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to stay here till you open the door. So I opened the door, and I was just very scared. I was going to get the sauce. I opened the door, and his eyes he saw all the Maha. And his eyes became like so big. He goes, are you guys, you still Mahaprasad and you don't call me? I was like, oh. And then we said, Aindrabhu, please come. So he sat down with us, and he ate Mahaprasad. And then he told us, you can steal Mahaprasad, but make sure you don't get caught. So that was a little pastime that I wanted to share. But this kirtan service, that I had. Nowadays, I travel 15, 20 countries every year. Just before this festival, I was in Canada for Rath Yatra, just last weekend, and next weekend I'm in Berlin, and then Woodstock. So we travel like 15, 20 countries a year doing kirtan. And we do kirtan sometimes with like small groups, like 15, 20, 50 people, sometimes with 100, 200, 300 people, sometimes with 10,000 people. And you can see how kirtan brings everybody together. There's no politics, there's no enemies. It melts the heart. When kirtan is done properly. And properly means to do kirtan for Krishna. We chant for Krishna's pleasure. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he tells us that kirtan is meant only for Krishna's pleasure, not even for our own pleasure. Because sometimes we go to kirtan because we think, oh, it's going to be a nice kirtan, we're going to dance, it's going to be a nice party. That's okay, but the higher thing is to give pleasure to Krishna. Because when we're trying to please Krishna, then ultimately, because Krishna is sitting in our hearts as Paramatma, so when we please him, ultimately we are very pleased, we are happy. We are even more happy that we're trying to look for pleasure for ourselves. So, this is the service that I try to do. Try to inspire myself, try to keep myself sane and happy by chanting the holy names of Krishna, and also try to give it to others. Because when we have something beautiful, and valuable, we don't want to keep it to ourselves, or else we become misers. Right? But when we give it out to others, we feel so much more pleasure, so much more happy, and we get so much more blessings from the acharyas, from Prabhupada, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So kirtan in this age that we're living, Kali Yuga, is the medicine. It's the medicine for everything. People who have mental problems, people who have physical problems. Once I was in a kirtan, and this, not even a devotee, this guy came, and he came on crutches. He came with his crutches, he sat down in the kirtan, and we were having slow kirtan, he was slow meditative, and then the kirtan picked up, and people started getting up to dance. And somehow I opened my eyes, and I saw this guy trying to get up with his crutches. And at one point, he just dropped his crutches, and he was just dancing without his crutches. It's the power. It's the power of the holy name. It's the holy name of Krishna, and Krishna himself are non-different. Sometimes we hear this, but we don't realize this. But we can realize this when we chant in kirtan, when we focus, when we put our heart and mind together and really connect with the mantra. Then we can realize that Krishna and his names are non-different. And this is so beautiful. This is the most powerful thing. When we chant Hare Krishna, we're connected with Krishna. So this is what we should try and do. Everyone, most of you go to school, you study, but we should try and keep a little time for Krishna. Everybody, we spend so much time, in front of the mirror, right? In the morning, or even during the day, we look at ourselves in the mirror, how beautiful I am, who am I going to impress today? Right, this is pretty normal, right? Especially, while growing up, but we should sacrifice a little time for Krishna. Whatever it may be, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes during the day, in the morning, we go to Krishna and say, this is my time for you, Krishna. Please accept this. Do a little prayer, chant some japa, even if it's one round. You chant one round every day. One round takes like 10 minutes or 7 minutes. You chant that for Krishna. Say, Krishna, this is for you. It doesn't have to be much. Then you can do whatever else you have to do, your homework, your school. You can hang out with your friends. But just that little time, Krishna, he will remember. When we give Krishna with 2 hands, right? He will give us back with 10 hands, and we won't be able to hold it. We don't realize this, but this really, Krishna means it when he says it. So we just need to remember this. This is, teenage is a very tough age, You know, everyone wants to rebel. I rebelled also. I was a crazy boy. I'm still a little crazy. But you know, this little time for Krishna is important. You know, whether we sit down with a harmonium, we do a little kirtan for Krishna, we chant some japa, or we, you know, offer our food to Krishna, or we just sit down, just pray to Krishna. This is beautiful. You know, and then we will also notice that our day will become much more happy and connected. And we can do so much more. All right? Anyone has any questions so far? You want to ask me anything personal or about my service? Don't be shy. Yes, brother.
What happened to
What's
the
your name?
Jaramara? Haridas.
Jaramara.
Jaramara.
Hare Krishna.
What happened to the Bengali brahmacharis?
I'll tell you. The Bengali brahmacharis, they never got caught because they never stole.
Okay.
But my friend, he was from Canada. His name was Krishnadas. One day he was trying to steal Maha and they caught him. I never got caught myself, but he got caught and he had to go clean the pots. He had to go wash pots for like 1 month. Anyone else? Questions? Yes. My first encounter was the first day I went to Vrindavan. I stayed. I had very long hair before, you know. Before I had a sika, and I shaved my head because all my friends were like bullying me. And then I started growing my hair. I had very long hair till down here. And when I was going to Vrindavan, I was actually going to the best boys' school in Mauritius. It was a British school. It was only boys. You had to wear uniforms. And I was studying chemistry, physics. It was very boring. And you know, when I was 18, I just went to Vrindavan. So the very first day I went to Vrindavan, I checked into the guest house. And I came down. I shaved my head completely. I didn't even have a sika. Just complete shave. I came to the temple, and there was these devotees chanting 24-hour kirtan. And they saw me, they said, "Oh, come, play mridanga." They didn't know me, but they just told me, "Oh, play mridanga." So I started playing mridanga. And then half an hour later, this other devotee came. And kirtan finished, and he told me, "Oh, you play nice mridanga, why don't you join the 24-hour kirtan?" I said, "Yes, I came to join the 24-hour kirtan. And I have a letter for Indra Das, because my friend gave me a letter of recommendation." And I told him, I asked him, "Where can I find Indra?" And he looked at me and said, "Oh, I'm Indra Das." Because I've never seen a photo of Indra before. And he had red hair and red beard. I was thinking, and I heard Indra Prabhu's kirtan like 1 or 2 times, and he sounded like an Indian. I was like, "No, you're not Indra." And he goes, yes, I'm Indra. I'm Indra. So I gave him the letter, and that was my first encounter. Anyone else? Any questions? Yes.
How come that you're living in Switzerland?
I've been living in Switzerland since 18 years because my wife she's got Swiss nationality. So we were staying in England before that, and yeah, it was difficult with the visas and stuff. So now we're based in Switzerland, in a small village, beautiful near the mountains. Anyone else? Boys? Boys are really shy, so only you guys got some questions. Any questions?
How is ISKCON in Switzerland? Are there any temples?
In Zurich, huh?
ISKCON in Switzerland? Yeah, we have one temple. It's in a very nice part of the city. It's a big house, and we have Sunday programs. Every Sunday we have two programs because there's like two groups of people. There's like the Sri Lankans, so there's a special program for them, in their own language, Tamil, and then we have another program which is at 3 o'clock. And then in the summer, devotees go out on Harinams. It's a nice temple. They have Gonitai, Jagannath, Bhadev, and Subhadra. Anyone else?
What do you think is the best way to do public kirtan, to bring kirtan to outside people?
The best way is Harinam Sankirtan. This is how the Hare Krishna movement started. Srila Prabhupada sat down in a park in New York, Tompkins Square Park, just with a pair of kartals, and he had a bongo drum. There's no mridanga at that time. This kartals and this bongo drum. He started chanting this mantra: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when he chanted this mantra, came all these wonderful people with long hair, long beard. It was 1960s. Everyone was looking. It was the hippie time. Everyone was looking for something higher, something that would really satisfy their hearts. Because they were very dissatisfied with society. And this mantra really changed their lives. So Harinam Sankirtan, whether you sit down doing Harinam or you're walking doing Harinam, this is the best way to reach out to people. But the most important thing is to have the proper consciousness. That we're going to because this is going to please Mahaprabhu and Sri Prabhupada. We're going out for their pleasure, and it's not like we're going to save those people. This saving the people, that depends on Krishna. We go because this pleases Guru, this pleases the Vaishnavas, and we leave the results to Krishna. Anyone else? I'm here to talk to you guys, so you can ask any question. Anything.
Could you share
Why
one?
do I have earrings? No, just kidding.
Could you share one important lesson that you got from Mahendra Prabhu?
Yes. When I used to play for Mahendra Prabhu, Mridanga, and I never used to chant. And I would always look at my hands, how fast it was moving, how cool beats how many cool beats I was doing, and I was never chanting. Mahendra Prabhu would always tell me, your Mridanga playing is 0. And I was thinking, how is my Mridanga playing 0? I'm practicing like 4 hours every day. And he said, no, your Mridanga playing is 0 if you don't put a 1 before it. If you have a 0 and you have many, many 1s after the 0, it doesn't mean much, right? But if you have a 0 and you put a 1 and then you add so many zeros, then it becomes big. So that 1 is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. The 1 is the kirtan. The chanting in kirtan, the most important thing is the mantra. Without the mantra, we wouldn't be having kirtan. We can just play mridanga and play kartals and play harmonium. But the mantra is the main thing. The mantra is Krishna himself. So that was one very important lesson that I learned, and I want to share this with especially the young people who starting to play mridanga and who thinks it's very cool to show off their mridanga beats. It's okay. You can play fancy mridanga beats, but also train yourself to chant at the same time. Yes.
Were you in Vrindavan and Andhra Pradesh left to study?
I was not in Vrindavan. I was in Toronto for a 24-hour kirtan, and I spoke to him the day before. You know, yes, we spoke on Skype, and we were joking and talking. And then the next day, Guru passed away, and someone came running to me. We finished the 24-hour kirtan, and we were sitting outside. And one of the boys came running and said, "I left." I said, "No way." You know, we were just talking yesterday. He was laughing and joking. So I called Vrindavan Panchagoda Puri, as the temple president. And he said, "Yes, I left." So, yeah. But for me, he hasn't left. You know, Guru's always in my heart, and he's always there when I'm doing kirtan, because he's the one who taught me how to do kirtan. The Vaishnava never dies. Can you read that? Read it out. Read it out. He reasons here.
He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still and sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around.
This is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Anyone else? Yes, Brew.
A question regarding the earring. How do you manage to be a very cool devotee, but at the same time, you know, keeping very cool, humble, very grounded, but at the same time, kind of, you know, being a very famous kirtanier and everyone kind of, but very grounded. So how do you, and with the cool earrings and.
Well, the thing is that we all have personalities. If we stay in a temple, you know, we have to abide by the rules. Like, you know, I stayed in the temple in Vrindavan as a brahmachari. You know, I didn't have any earrings. You know, I had my dreadlock Sika. You know, Indupuri never told me anything about it. But now I live outside, and you know, I have my own, you know, artistic personality. And for me, it's natural, you know, to have all these, you know, little things on my face and my ears. You know, and it attracts people. It attracts the youth. It attracts, you know, people who aren't, you know, really devotees to come to kirtan. You know, they're not thinking, "Oh, this guy is an orthodox Hare Krishna, like in the box. You know, Hare Krishna, he's cool. I can relate to this guy. I can talk to him. I can be cool myself and come to the temple or come to kirtan and chant and connect with Krishna." And the humble part is that I am not making the kirtan happen. You know, the holy name will appear out of his own accord, because the holy name is a person. The holy name is Krishna. You know, and being a, you know, someone famous, you know, this is by the mercy of Krishna. So everything is by his mercy. So I have nothing to be proud of. You know, everything belongs to Krishna. So whatever, you know, I'm doing, whatever service that I'm doing, whatever fame that I'm getting, it doesn't belong to me. And then you give it back to Krishna. So you use it in Krishna's service and not become proud. So it's okay to be cool and, you know, chant Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Madhava.
Yes, Madhava.
How long is your Sika?
How old are you?
10.
My Sika is 2.5 times your age. Calculate this. How old is my Sika?
2.
2.5. 20. 25 years old is my Sika. Here, I'll show you. This is long. This is 25 years old.
Did you ever cut it, Madhava?
No,
No?
no,
Never.
no. No. This has all my power yet. No. I'm just joking.
Secret.
Anyone else? Yes.
It's not easy to be a teenager, especially when you go in the school outside and like this. You have many friends, and can you give some advice to the youth?
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely not easy. It wasn't easy for me to be a teenager. But the most important thing is to, you can have many friends, but good friends, you'll only have a few good friends. So you should, use your intelligence and know who you can make as your good friends. And your good friend is he who gives you Krishna, or she who gives you Krishna. That's your best friend. Everyone else, everyone else who is your friend is looking for something, is looking something from you, something to get from you, and it's based all on the material body and senses. But your best friend is the one who gives you the Krishna. So you should look for these friends, and hang out with them. You have this wonderful retreat here, where you come so many youth together, and you make so many friends, devotee friends, and you keep in touch with these people. When you have a problem, you talk. Oh, I have a friend from Slovenia. I have a friend from Spain. I can talk to him or her, about my teenage problems. You have someone that you trust, that will not take you away from Krishna, but will bring you closer to Krishna. Yeah. Okay.
Det var Madhava.
Anyone else?
Who taught you harmonia and singing?
No one taught me harmonium. No one taught me how to sing. I just picked it up. I just try to figure out how to play. Listening. Yeah, I never had a teacher. Yeah. You can listen by hearing. You can learn by hearing, or you can learn by having a teacher. It depends whichever one is the best. Whichever one works. But the most important thing, whatever you learn, you should use it for Krishna. Not use it so that you become famous or you become proud. That's true.
What makes one a good kirtaniya?
A good kirtaniya is not the melodies that we play. It's not the fancy singing or our voice. A good kirtaniya is the attitude and the mood that we're trying to glorify Krishna, which is, very humble. Srila Prabhupada says, Trinada Pisanichena, more humble than a blade of grass. Because to be able to call out to Krishna is not easy. It has to be sincere. Sincerity means we have to look at the condition of our hearts. We have to, be honest with ourselves. That's a good kirtan. It's introspective. And be able to do a kirtan and get everybody involved. That's a sign of a good kirtan also. Because if you're doing a melody that no one can follow, or if you're just chanting for yourself and just making a show, although you have the most beautiful voice and you're playing the most fancy harmonium, this is not a good kirtan. is when you get as many people involved to chant, and this becomes powerful. Okay. Anyone else? One last one? One last question? And then we'll do some kirtan.
Those two things.
This is Tulsi. Tulsi is a goal.
Sometimes it's hard to center your mind on, I mean, from my experience, it's hard to center your mind on the mantra and the full name during kirtan or chanting, and if you have any advice.
Yes, the mind is chanchala, it's very
Yeah.
flickering, it's running everywhere. This is pretty much everyone's mind. You know, it's not only like teenagers' mind or children's mind. It's my mind also. When I do kirtan, you know, my mind is like all over the place. But we know our minds the best. You know, Krishna knows our mind, but we also know our mind. Our friend might not know our mind. You know, we don't reveal everything to our friends. But we know our minds the best. So we have either, there's two ways. You can talk to your mind as a friend. You know, you say, my dear mind, for the next 2 hours, I'm going to chant Hare Krishna. I'm going to try and, you know, be in kirtan. Please give me a break. I serve you 24 hours a day. Even in my dreams, I serve you. But for those 2 hours, please give me a break. And if your mind is still giving you trouble, then you chastise your mind. And you tell it, you shut up. You know, I'm just going to chant now. I'm not going to listen to you. And always bring the mind back to the kirtan. Bring it back to the mantra. You know, it's hard. If you bring it back, you bring it back, you bring it back, the mind will understand what you're trying to do. Is to really focus on the holy name. And he will give you a break. This is what I do also. You know, sometimes people think I close my eyes and magic is happening. You know, I'm just chanting. No. There's many things that sometimes goes in my mind, and I have to bring my mind back to the kirtan, back to the mantra. And then Krishna sees that we're trying, and then he gives us this little push, and this little blessing, and then we feel, oh, now it's easier to chant, and now the heart is, you know, is much lighter, and we feel happy. And this, when we feel happy, this is blessing. This is the holy name, you know. Yeah, it works. Yes.
Sometimes when I try to sing, I have like a problem that I get nervous and I don't sing nicely. So if you can give some advice for like loosening up the throat or the vocal cord.
Well, if you go on YouTube, there's many vocal.
No, in that I don't have problem, but when I'm trying to sing, like something happens, I get nervous and I sing
Oh,
bad.
nervous. Okay.
Yeah,
You just close your eyes and keep chanting.
simple as that.
Yeah. Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, he used to put his brahmacharis who couldn't sing, who would hit like wrong notes to lead kirtans. Just to prove the point that you don't need a beautiful voice to lead kirtan. You can still chant. And it doesn't matter who's around you. Don't worry about people, because you're chanting for Krishna. You don't need to be self-conscious of, is my voice not good, or I'm so nervous. You know, sometimes I feel nervous also. I'm sitting like, you know, every time I feel nervous, you know, when I do kirtan. It's not only when I'm sitting in front of 10,000 people that I feel nervous. I feel nervous all the time. And I just pray to Krishna. You pray to Krishna. You know, I want to chant, but I'm self-conscious. I'm nervous. Please help me. Krishna is a person who will listen. Hey, try this. And then just don't listen to your mind. Your mind's telling you, oh, I can't chant because there's all these people around. No, just close your eyes and chant. That's why I close my eyes. Because when I open my eyes, there's so many people, and that I get mental. I get very nervous. When you close your eyes, you don't see anyone. You respect those people sitting in front of you. The Matajis, the Prabhus. You respect them, because they're Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. But to help you to do your service, if closing your eyes helps you, then you close your eyes. I can close my eyes for 4 or 5 hours without opening. No problem. It's just a matter of practice. Welcome. Anyone else? Huh? Okay. Good. Anyway, it was nice talking to you. Thank you. I wish you a lot of strength in your teenage life, because you will need it. And please remember, you can do whatever you have to do, but don't forget Krishna. That's the most important thing. Don't forget Krishna. Yes.
May I ask how to get taste for the holy name? What is the taste?
Well, taste for the holy name comes by associating with people who have taste for the holy name, the Vaishnavas who have taste. You try and serve them. You try and pick their mind, pick their brain. How to chant better. You ask them questions. But also by sincerely trying. You have to do it yourself. You have to chant sincerely. Try to hear ourselves chant sincerely. And just by doing it. We just need to try it. It won't fall from the sky. It's not like a fruit. You have a wonderful tree here, and when the apple is ripe, it's going to fall by itself. No, it won't. This you can wait for lifetimes. It won't happen. You need the mercy of Vaishnavas, for sure, but then you need to work towards it. You need to be sincere. You need to be able to chant, with focus, and also avoiding the 10 offenses. Offenseless chanting, which is difficult. We try one step at a time. We don't jump the steps. One step slowly. We'll come. Right? Cool. No more questions. We'll do a little kirtan. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you
Mathura.
steal more prasadam?
I always steal prasadam. No, sometimes. Now less. No, now I get prasadam. I don't really steal. I have to watch my weight now. Okay, we'll chat. I hold it like this because if I put it down, I have to bend over. And sitting down for long hours, it doesn't help my back. So I can, like this, I can sit straight, although this is heavy on my, but I'm used to it. I'm a strong boy. Maam Vishnupadaya Krishnapastaya Bhutam Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Nastatyadi Shikari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Well, my little friends here, all the little ones, come in front. Boys, come. Come. Good. So, these are my little friends from Swedish, from here. Every year I come, we do a little care time with these guys here. These little boys and girls. And at the temple also we get them to chant. Hare
Thank you.
It's nice when we chant Hare Krishna, right? Everybody's feeling happy. It's loud for Krishna. And I tell you, this chanting is not only food for the soul, but it also keeps the body fit. Because we stand up, we dance, so we don't really have to go to the gym. I'm pumping the harmonium here, my arms is getting bigger, but only one arm. Play the mridanga, you keep fit. So it's a very good deal. And before we leave, whose birthday is it today? It's someone's birthday today.
Somebody from Latvia.
Yeah. Who's from Latvia here? You're from Latvia. It's not
Some
your birthday.
girl from Latvia. I heard some rumors.
Who else is from Latvia? You're from Latvia? What's from Latvia? I think it's Lalita's birthday. Some bird told me it's Lalita's birthday today.
Oh my
It's
god.
Lalita over there.
She's hiding. Okay.
She's hiding. She doesn't even know where she's from. So we're gonna chant, the birthday song for her, right? Everybody knows the birthday song.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, dear Lalita. Hare Krishna to you. May you never be born again. May you never take birth again. May you never take born again. Hare Krishna to you. Hello.
17. Wonderful. It's a nice way to celebrate your birthday. Nice devoted friends. We wish you all the best. Close Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming. Tonight we're having kirtan. I'm chanting from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. So it would be, everybody's invited, but it would be very nice if you can come sit as close as possible. There's little ones here, don't feel shy. If you're a little older also, if you're 16, 17 or a little older, you can also come sit closer, right? Will you come? Yes. Please do. Okay, thank you.
Madhava Prabhu ki